Lily and this is Curatorial Knits. I am so delighted to be with you today. I've had a little bit of a hiatus from posting and I just feel so happy to be back. It has been a pretty intense 2026 so far. I think not just for me, but for so many folks in so many different ways. But I am really happy that my knitting has been a through line for me, and I hope it has been for you too. If this is your first time here, my name is Lily. I am an art curator who loves to knit, and I particularly love to talk about the kind of curatorial choices that we make with our knitting practice. So thank you so much for being here and for joining me. And I think I'm gonna dive right in. I will say at the top that I do have a really beautiful giveaway at the end that I'll be going through. I have some yarn that I have set aside. I went through, during my hiatus, I went through my entire yarn cabinet and made a lot of sometimes difficult choices, but there is some really wonderful yarn that I cannot wait to get to a new home. So if you want to stay till the end, I'll be talking about that then. I will also say that if you are in the Greater Bay Area, which is where I'm located here in Northern California, I highly recommend that if you're in the Northern California Bay Area and you are interested in what might not be in my yarn cabinet anymore, I highly recommend you check out the East Bay Center for Creative Reuse on Telegraph Avenue in Oakland. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But there are some things that are there that I'm very happy will find beautiful homes, but that was actually like really hard to just let go of. I have not ever done a big, what's it called? Destash. I've not ever done a big destash selling yarn I've already purchased. I probably should, but frankly the admin on it just seems kind of crazy. So instead I am really happy to rehouse yarn with the Center for Creative Reuse here locally to me, and then you guys will have a chance to get some yarn at the end. I just pick people from the comments, which is what I do for all of my giveaways, and we'll talk about that more at the end. I guess I should start where I always start, which is with what I'm wearing, which is also my finished object for the week, or one of them. This is the Busan sweater. It is by Ageio Knits. It was such a comfort knit for me. Many of you all, if you've watched some of my previous episodes, particularly my last Rhinebeck episode, I'll link that down below because it was such a fun one. I fell in love with my friend Carmen's outfit. She was wearing an incredible sweater skirt combo, and she knit it with one strand of Gilead here, which is their, this is the really quite, it's the Broulard. It's really quite thick worsted yarn. It is so much fun to work with. She knitted hers, a big oversized cable sweater, not the one that I ended up making, but a different one. And she's knit it in one strand of this Gilead and one strand of her of mohair, and she used the mohair from Sonder yarn. I paired, and she did this for both a big oversized cable knit sweater and for a little mini skirt. I tried the outfit on at Rhinebeck and I fell so deeply in love. I knew I needed my own version of it. And so I ended up purchasing I purchased the Gilead yarn and also this Bernice, which paired so beautifully with it. Really created this incredible fabric. My sweater of choice, I already had this Busan sweater in my Ravelry library, and I had wanted to make it for a long time. I love how center cable just feels so kind of luxurious and like undulating. I also loved these giant sleeves. I'm usually, as most folks know here, not a fan of a super, super deep raglan, but if you're gonna do it, just go all the way. And I have to tell you, we have been having a very oddly rainy April. And I know for most of the country, and frankly, for most of the history of Northern California, that should be really normal. But when I moved here from New York more than 10 years ago, we were in the middle of the craziest series of drought years. So we never got rain after like February, and we've had a ton of rain in March and now here in April. So I have had, and our rain hasn't been like a warm, like spring rain. It has been, for us, what is a little bit chilly. So we have a little break in the weather today, but we had like an inch of rain just pounding down just a couple days ago. So I've had a lot more opportunities to wear this later into the season than I might have any other year. And it is just so satisfying to throw on over kind of anything and everything, and I'm really enjoying wearing it. I think it's a very intuitive pattern. It was not, you know, it knit up very quickly once I kind of started working on it, and it was a really satisfying knit. So I am really happy with that. My only other finished object, and I know after so much time away, I probably should have like a stack of things, and to be very honest, that's one of the things that stopped me from filming, is that I've had so much change and also just life happening in all sorts of different ways over the past few months that I feel like I should have been knitting more. Like there was a big flashing like should sign over all of my WIPs and projects, and frankly, I just didn't have the kind of creativity and bandwidth. And at first there was something like really, really hard about that, and I really had to just kind of learn to let myself be, I guess the word might be like fallow, right? Like I had to acknowledge that I wasn't going to be super productive, at least with my knitting at that time. And I still am, you know, not sure where everything will kind of end up, but I do have that sense of energy and momentum again, and so that's been really exciting to see. But I don't have a huge stack of finished objects for you today. It's just, that was just not what was available to me over the last few months. But I do have a teeny tiny hat. It's so cute. It's another beginner's welcome hat. I had just a little bit of leftover. This is in the yarn that the pattern is written in. This is the Ritual Dyes Elder. Yes, their worsted weight yarn held with a strand of their mohair called Faye. And this was so satisfying. I just wanted to, I had just a little bit left of this color, and I thought, I think I could get a child size hat out of that. And I just wanted to do something that felt really gratifying and that I knew I'd be, I knew I'd be proud of it. I knew it could like remind me that this is something I love and can do. And so I just kind of knocked it out. It does fit my son. He won't be able to wear it for a good 9 months now, or at least 8, but I'm really happy that it's done, and it's so cute. And this color is so awesome. It's a really beautiful orangey, red. I would say this is like a reddish orange rather than an orangish red, but it reminds me of The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, if you guys, any other millennials, remember that movie, which is one of my favorite soundtracks ever. So anyway, little tangent there, as we do. So those are my only 2 finished objects, but I do have some cool momentum happening in WIP land. So I'm very excited to chat about that. This was the thing I was picking up and putting down and picking up and putting down. I think I may have already spoken about this, but if not, can I introduce you to my favorite Christmas present from the winter? This is the redesigned Projects, I think, sweater bag. I don't know what the official name of it is, but this is amazing. And my brother bought it for me, and he just, like, this is something I didn't know that I needed. I have seen these before. I did not understand how perfect this object is until I started using it. And now it's like I look forward to opening it. So you zip it all the way around, and then it lays flat. So it's open, and it's all contained. So there's these two little compartments. I have my yarn in one compartment on one side, and I have my project on the other side. And then I have all of these ridiculous pockets and like a zipper thing in the middle, and I have room for my highlighters because I'm being really good in highlighting my chart as I go, so I'm never lost. And I have my little tape measure all set, which matches my yarn, which was not planned, but how cute is that moment for me? I just love it. And so this is all to say that I like really look forward to opening this little box of joy. I have been going very slowly, but I'm now almost done with the body of this sweater. This is the Rosie sweater by Le Knit, or L-E Knit, I'm not sure. And oh yeah, it is so much fun. And I really, really love my color combination. It is like the perfect pale ballet pink with this washed out denim style gray. I think this is, you know, I have not blocked any of this, but I have to say I think my tension is looking good. Those are some crisp flowers. And I also was introduced by my mom to a new 3-needle bind off technique, which was so much fun to do on this collar. So this is an applied collar, and I loved it so much. I'm definitely gonna do it on the hem as well. And it's funny, it's very, I don't really know how to explain it, but it looks like you are using a needle, so in some ways it is a sewn bind off technique, but you don't have to go through like in between the stitches the way that you do with an Italian sewn bind off. And I don't know the official name of it. My mom just sent me a Instagram video of it, but I really, really love it. And I think I will try to find a way of describing it well, and I'll follow up with you guys on that. So I'm almost done with the hem. Well, not almost. I have probably another 2 inches or 1.5 inches to go on my hem ribbing, and then I have the sleeves to do. So I'm just like trucking along on this. I don't feel a huge sense of urgency, but it has been a really fun, enjoyable knit, and I think clearly I'm in this like big oversized mode right now. I'm making a lot of fabric is how it feels with most of these projects. So that one has been really fun, and I hope that I finish it fairly soon, but again, I'm not giving myself the shoulds. The shoulds are tough, and I'm trying to kind of shut down my shoulds. That said, I would love to polish this off in the next few weeks. I think that would be really fun to have as a thing to throw on in the evenings, especially when it gets chilly this summer. Next up, I have a brand new-ish project. And I threw this on the needles because I had been speaking for a long time about Raglan construction, the Curator sweater, which came out, I can't believe, like almost a year ago, and is still like going strong. Like it's the whole community of knitters, and the way that patterns like ricochet through communities is so amazing, and it's been so beautiful to see just new projects pop up constantly online. So I'm really appreciative of our internet space right now because it has really been amazing to see. I might do a little recap of kind of a year in, what does it actually look like and feel like. But in any case, my Curator sweater is not a typical Raglan construction because you start with the back panel and then you do what's called a European shoulder sleeve where you create bands and then pick up sleeves along the sides. And then once everything it can be joined in the round, you do increase in the way that you would as a Raglan. But I played pretty intentionally, created different options for the rates of increase with those numbers. And then again, in my circular yoke pattern, the color compass, I was really deliberate and made some shifts in terms of the increase rate along sizes. But again, that's circular yoke and not Raglan. So I've been playing with the math and the numbers of what my kind of idealized Raglan sweater math and increase rate would be, and I'm almost done with it. This is, first of all, I should talk about the yarn because I kind of can't believe how incredible this yarn is. It is such a dream to work with, and I feel so grateful for past me. Like, thank you, former me, for buying this yarn. So this is the Jill Draper's High Plains that I purchased at her large market, outdoor market, the Sunday of Rhinebeck weekend. And here we go. It is truly an incredible yarn, and I am holding it with another incredible yarn. This is the Sonder Halo, and the color match on this is just unreal. It's so serendipitous, and the fabric it's creating is just an absolute dream. Just total dream. Oh, I should have said the yarn for my Rosie sweater is Wandering Flock. So Wandering Flock merino singles for both the pink and the gray, held with Wandering Flock's mohair, another top 3 mohair for me. So beautiful. And again, their colors are fantastic from Wandering Flock. So sorry about that. And also, as always, all the details, the yarns, and the patterns will be in the description box below. So here we go. This was so much fun. It is just a very straightforward top-down Raglan, and I created this really almost square neckline with a mock turtleneck. It's very preppy, but I really like it. It's about as high as this, but it stands up, but in a very different way. So this stands up because it has this extra little pearl bump ridge here, and because the Raglans start pretty darn narrow. So this is just a pretty darn narrow moment for the Raglans to begin at the top of the neck. And then you increase out at a rate which will be explained in the pattern. But I think it's worked out so well. I'm really, really happy with it. It's deep enough to have lots of room and movement and not get too snug, but it's also shallow enough that you have lots of mobility. And I just am really, really happy with it, you guys. I also so as I was making this, I was really just self-drafting. I was taking notes. I don't have a pattern or anything written for it. I'm just having fun. I made a few decreases before I got to the bottom ribbing, and then I actually made a few short rows. I think you can kind of see that wedge there. So the back is definitely a few rows longer up than the front, just to create that drape again. And then the short rows in the back are another just simple short row wedge, very straightforward. And I'm just really I'm really, really happy with it. And it was really fun too, because this is what got my mojo running again. Well, actually, I'll admit, it was a combination of doing this and this at the same time. And then, I must admit, my mom came to visit and we were talking about these two projects. And I was also talking about how I was coaching one of my girlfriends through knitting her very first sweater. So she made 2 or 3 of these beginner's welcome hats, and then she wanted to make her first sweater. I do not think that I think if you were a brand new sweater knitter, the Curator sweater is just probably not for you, and because it assumes you know how to read a pattern. And I noticed that one of the things that I was helping my friend with was not really the techniques. Like, she could make increases and decreases and knit and purl, and that's really kind of all you need to know how to do when it comes to, well, any knitting project really, but definitely to sweater making, and Raglan sweater making in particular. But the action of reading the pattern is itself its own process, and you kind of have to have someone teach you how to do it. You have to learn how to do it. And so I'm now sketching out the idea for a chunky, like 16 stitch gauge sweater that would be a beginner's welcome sweater. It'd be a top-down raglan. I feel like I have a really good sense of what I want the raglan cadence and math to look like, but I also think I have an idea for what I want the language around the construction to look like for beginners. And so I'm really excited about it. I have not cast on or even swatched for it yet, and I'll tell you why I haven't done that yet, because something else is happening. But I do have my yarn picked out because I'm really excited about this project, and I think that I will be able to get a super chunky, like 16 stitch gauge. And the reason I think that gauge is important for beginners is that you want this to go at a pace that feels rewarding. And I think that's one of the things that makes the beginner's welcome hat so popular, and is because it's fast enough that you really get that sense of reward, and I won't say instant gratification, because knitting is not instant, but it is a place where you can really see your progress, and that keeps your momentum going until the finish line. And so I am gonna go to my more Jill Draper. This is the Mohunk, and I got this, not the Rhinebeck we just had, but the Rhinebeck before, and have not used it yet. And I feel like I also, some of you guys, if you've been around for a long time, you may know that I got this beautiful Surrey alpaca from Ching Fiber, and it is called Whale, and it is another one of my like lily blue greens that is so, so beautiful. And I was starting a cardigan with this, and I worked on it for a long time, and it just wasn't the right thing. It just wasn't happening, and I was never picking it up, and so I ended up frogging it. And now I know why I did, because these two together is just gonna be such a dream, and I'm really excited for this piece. And in terms of timing, I'm hoping that I'm giving myself as much time as I need, obviously, but I will not be looking for testers for this until probably late summer. I am very hopeful though that I can get some first time sweater knitters to be part of our cohort, because I think that would be so, so special, and I'm really, really looking forward to their insights and feedback, and just how we walk along this process together will be really informed by their experience. So if you have any people in your life who you think would be a good candidate for this type of project, maybe start warming them up to the idea a little bit. And I can't wait to get in touch with everyone and make that happen because I'm really, really excited. So yes, this will be a 2027, probably really early 2027 launch, but I'm really excited about it. And it was a really fun moment to just see how everything came together. And I do have to give my mom all of the credit because I said, I wish there was a pattern I could talk my friend through that was like this hat, and she said, sounds like you need a beginner's welcome sweater. So I'm really excited about it. I think it's a great plan, and it's definitely one of those things that got me back to that space of feeling creative and feeling like I was gonna make something that served others. Do you know what I mean? Like it was in service of our craft, but also directly going to help people. So I'm really, really excited about that. The other thing that I've picked back up is the Curator Cardi. And this has been a design project that's been hibernating since last summer. And so for those of you who don't know, I started a new job in September of 2025, and it kind of took over my life. That's part of the reason I've been away for so long. I am no longer doing that work, which feels very, very good. It was definitely a major, I won't say distraction, because it was a major focus, and the whole experience was a really, really big focus of my life. And I think that's one of the things that made picking up knitting more challenging for me. Needless to say, so this is in some ways very similar and in some ways very different. It is a cousin, I would say, not a sibling, but a cousin of the Curator sweater, which is a pullover sweater. I am keeping some incredibly important design considerations like the European shoulder construction, and I am keeping the twisted rib on all the hemlines. It's gonna be really hard to see because I made probably a tactical error in terms of making this in navy. It's gonna be so dark. It's gonna be really hard to share. But I love this again. I'm so excited. It has been one of those things. So it's also a larger gauge than the Curator sweater, which is a 20 stitch. Is that right? Yeah, 20 stitch gauge. This is 18. So it is a combination of two incredible yarns. This is my Curator sweater is made in Sonder Yarn Co.'s Sunday Morning Luxe Sport, held with mohair. This is actually the DK, Sunday Morning DK, held with haze, which is the alpaca. So it is really a bouncy, it's a very bouncy, elastic fabric that I'm creating, and I'm really, really happy with it. It also, these shoulder seams are gonna be so perfect for making a cardigan that actually stays on your shoulder. And I'm really excited about it. So far, my math is mathing. This is one of those projects where, like for the Raglan, I just knit and then I took notes as I was knitting, and then I'll be kind of going back, making another sample and refining from there. In the case of the Curator cardigan, because so much of the construction is the same as the Curator sweater, I am using similar spreadsheets, obviously with different gauge numbers and different construction notes because of the integrated button band, which I'm also super excited about. So you will not have to go back and knit a button band when the whole thing is done. And because I'm using the twisted rib, which is what I also do on the other pieces, it really looks refined and delineated without having to do the double knitting button band, which is what I have done on other cardigans, which I do agree looks beautiful, but was for me partly an impediment to finishing because it was pretty laborious as well. So anyway, I'm back on track with this. I have made extensive quasi, I will say like almost a pattern itself, and then I'm knitting from there and then adjusting as I go. So it's interesting because these are two designs that are happening kind of simultaneously, but they're going in very different, I wouldn't say directions, but I'm using different modalities for how I'm going to get to the finished product. And that's been super interesting just to kind of see and witness. And yeah, I've been really, really happy with the whole thing. And again, it's just really nice. It's really nice to have that spirit of momentum and enthusiasm for this craft. And yeah, thank you guys for hanging in there with me. It's so interesting. Like, I had plenty of mental space and energy to reorganize my entire yarn cabinet, to go through all of my knitting supplies and knitting needles, and to kind of set up my space, and to make myself feel like I had all of my knitting ducks in a row. But it was really hard to just sit down and knit. It's kind of interesting, like that part of me just wasn't firing for a while. And yeah, so it's nice to have it back, because I definitely feel like I missed it, and I missed you guys. Next, oh, I was gonna do a little WIP down, because there's some really sad things happening in my WIPs, you guys. I still have 2 shawls that I have not finished. The satellite shawl, which is now years, and I just keep looking at it and I don't know what to do. Maybe I honestly I kind of want to, like, wonder if I could commission someone to finish it for me, because I do want the object, but I just cannot pick it up. I don't know why. The yarn is beautiful. I don't even need to show it again. I've shown it so many times for like literally years. I don't know what's wrong with me. And then the other is just another, well, I will, just because this is like a shame moment, but it's a moment of honesty, accountability. What's crazy to me too is that I loved these colors so much that I basically used the exact same, well, or very, very similar palette for my twig sweater, which is an all over color work, nearly lace weight sweater. And that took me less time than this has. It's totally bizarre. It's so beautiful. It's all in La Bien-Aimée and Verb for Keeping Warm yarns. It is just, it's stunning. I don't even mind the brioche. Brioche is the next section. I don't mind it at all. It looks fantastic. I don't know what my problem is. Anyway, okay. So these are like the 3, well, actually, there's 4. There's 4 sad WIPs, you guys. Okay, that's 1. Number 2, this is not as sad, because I don't really, this is like non-urgent, but just very fun. And it's actually my travel knit. So this I will definitely knit on, we're going down to San Diego in a few weeks. I will knit on it on that trip. And then I'm also going on a big trip with my girlfriends, and part of it is just myself in June. And this is, my plan is just to bring this. It's another, what's her name? Fleur. It's another Fleur Shawl with some, I'm in a bobble row. So this, I'm gonna give myself a break on this and say, this is fine. This is absolutely where I want it to be. It's the perfect color. This is more Sonder, and it's stunning. Let me get the label out. I still wear my pink one all of the time, my pink Fleur Shawl. So I know that this all finished, and it's just back and forth. It doesn't really matter. This is Salt and Stone, which I think might be a discontinued, but, and it's their single, which is called Grace, and is incredible. Merino cashmere. So good. Okay, so this I'm giving myself a pass on. This is fine. The other shawl, I don't even know. And then I have a gift sweater. I still have my husband's High Lonesome. I did finally get more of the main color. It is the right dye lot. It will be fine. I just have to just knit. I did go back and put the right needles on. I had basically redone my gauge because I had knit quite a bit of the yoke further down, but I'm done with the color work, and I noticed that my gauge shifted really dramatically between the color work and just the holding the yarn single. So I might have a few more increases to do in just the single, and that's been putting me off on finishing that. Even though it would be a very easy thing to just knit and figure out, I have not. And then this is like no surprise. No one is surprised that this is happening, but I have not picked up this sock since Christmas. I have not touched it. It's so cute. I even put my favorite ever, what's it called? My favorite ever stitch marker for my beginning of round here. It's so pretty. Here, I'll do this so you can see it. It's this beautiful pink seashell with a pearl in it. Has that made me pick it up? No. No, I have not. So, yeah. I've had to acknowledge that my forcing myself to be a sock knitter did not actually make myself a sock knitter. Like, sometimes you just aren't that. Which brings me to, though, some of the awesome things that I have decided to part with and that I thought could be good for a welcome back giveaway. So we'll start with the good transition. Sock yarn. I went crazy at Rhinebeck. Not only did I get that sock set, which is beautiful, from Coast to Coast yarn, and it's lovely. I think it's Coast to Coast yarn, sorry. Let me double check. It is, right? I think so. Yes, and I got it at Amy Scher's booth at a Woolen Affair, which was amazing. In any case, not only did I get myself one sock project, I got two more because I just convinced myself in a moment of absolute lack of self-knowledge that I was going to become a sock knitter. So I have always loved the super variegated colors from Explorer Knits and Fibers, and these are just, here, let me see if I can, oh, there we go. Oh, so stunning. This is called You Do Not Yield. It's the Denali sock from Explorer Knits. And also, excuse my nails, guys, they're totally trash. And this is Fire. Let me make sure. Okay, there you go. You can really see there's quite a lot of variegation in this one as well. So if you are a real sock knitter, not someone trying to turn yourself into a sock knitter, please comment below. Let me know which of the two sock bases is your favorite, and I will pick one of you, and then I will get in touch with you directly. I will announce your name from the comment that you make on my next podcast. That will be your invitation to DM me on Instagram, or you can reach out with an email. My email's in my, about me section on the, in the description and everything. In any case, we will find each other. I will never, ever say in the comments who won. So if someone's doing that, it's not me. And it's a scam, so be careful, because the internet is a wild, wild place. Anyway, if you are a real sock knitter and you love some sock yarn, I would love to send you one of these two. So we have two sock yarns, Fire, You Do Not Yield, both on Denali sock, which is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and it's 400 yards per 100 grams. And that's what this is. Let me know below. And then the next thing, this is one of those moments where I must admit that I can be an over purchaser. And this is an over purchase. I fell in love with the base floating from a Verb for Keeping Warm. and I knew I wanted to make at least one more Curator sweater in a super drapey fabric. And I, in a like fugue state, saw that they were going to be dyeing this color Jacaranda. And if you know what Jacaranda trees are, they are incredibly beautiful purple trees that bloom all over California. This is not like a, I don't know how to say this. This is an incredibly special yarn. It is 70% superfine alpaca, 20% silk, and 10% cashmere. It is, when I say drapey, it is incredibly drapey. It's 437 yards to 100 grams, but because of the alpaca and the cashmere, it does really bulk out a little bit. So you could knit this on anything between a US 3 and a US 5 and get a beautiful, beautiful fabric. You could also obviously hold it with a mohair, which is what I was planning to do. So this is, as I said, 437 yards, and I have 3 of them. There are lots and lots of things you could do with this. One that I thought would be very interesting is you could also hold it double and make a t-shirt. And because of the 20% silk and the cashmere, I think it would be absolutely beautiful if you wanted to do a Curator tee in this. Or you could knit it at a tighter gauge and, you know, make anything that your heart desired. I'm also very curious about, and we'll talk about this in my next cast-ons, potentially making a Curator tee with thinner yarn, but at that still 20 stitch gauge, and making it very loose and airy. So that's something that I'm planning to do. Whatever you would like to do with it though, please let me know in the comments below. You can just say floating and then let me know what your plan would be, or if you don't have a plan, say, I don't have a plan, I just love it. And I would love to get to you 3 of these skeins at 437 yards per 100 grams. The color I'll try to get up close. It is a incredibly sophisticated speckled purple. It is a very, very light, like bone, creamy light base that has a pale grayish purple in spots, and then very dark splotches that are just unreal of dark purple throughout. I think that's, there we go. That's probably the best I'll do there. I'll try to get you some of the splotchy moments. There you go, so you can see more of those. And yeah, so anyway, welcome back to one and all, including myself. I may get some B-roll of my yarn cabinet because I'm just so pleased with myself. And I don't have anyone else to like. I literally like made my husband come up and look at it. I was just like, look what I did. I'm amazing. I'm not amazing, but I do feel much more like I know where I am. I also have a lot of scrap mohair going on, and so I may do another kind of loose scrappy mohair situation. I did a long time ago, I made a piece for my friend where I started out with one color of mohair and then created a fade with all of my scraps. And I think I might do that again, and this time I get to keep it. So that might be happening. And I might use that would be really fun. Oh my gosh, for the summer. Okay, so after I get the math right on the beginner's welcome sweater at that loose gauge, I think I should make a version at the same gauge but with thinner yarn, so it is like super airy and light. Oh yes, see, this is why I need to do this, because it's like when I talk about this stuff that I start having fun, cool ideas. All right, I should probably shut it down. It's not gonna get much better than that. This is so fun. You are so awesome. I am so, so lucky to have this space to share my creativity, and we are so lucky as a community to have each other and our craft as a way to connect with the bigger world. Please always, always remember that the work that you make makes a difference, and every stitch at a time is you putting yourself out there into the world. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, please make use of the comments below. I try to respond to every single comment personally, and I can't wait to do this again soon. I hope very soon, in fact. Thank you again, and I hope you all have a great day and very, very happy knitting. Bye.